I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice.
US President Donald Trump stirred fresh controversy this week after posting an AI generated image of himself dressed in papal robes just days after joking that he would like to be the next pope. The digitally altered image quickly went viral, drawing both laughter and outrage online. The post came shortly after a reporter asked Trump who he would like to see succeed Pope Francis.
As Pope, I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference. I must say we have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York who's very good. So we'll see what happens.
While POTUS and some of his supporters appeared to treat the remark and image as light-hearted, many social media users didn't find it funny. Instead, they saw it as disrespectful, particularly coming just ahead of the papal conclave scheduled for the 7th of May, when cardinals will gather in the Sistine Chapel to elect the next head of the Catholic Church. One user commented, "This is disrespectful to the Church and God himself. He's literally the Antichrist." Others echoed the sentiment with posts like, "This is disgusting and entirely offensive. And this is extremely disrespectful and narcissistic. Republicans really voted for that." One particularly pointed response read, "How disrespectful to Catholics. That is what Trump and his maggots are all about. Disrespect and meanness and stupidity. How dare you mock the process we Catholics go through to pick a new pope?" A close ally of Trump, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, added a twist to the spectacle. Taking a more playful tone, Graham wrote on X, "Excited to hear that President Trump is open to the idea of being the next pope. This would truly be a dark horse candidate, but I would ask the papal conclave and Catholic faithful to keep an open mind. Watching for white smoke. Trump 2028.
And days after Trump jokingly said that he would love to be the next pope, now he has posted an AI-generated image of himself dressed in papal attire. The image was also shared by the official handle of the White House. The image shows Trump dressed in papal attire with a cross around his neck. The post has drawn mixed reactions online. While some social media users found it humorous, others have criticized it as disrespectful and insensitive since it has been posted shortly after the death of Pope Francis. Pope Francis, the first Latin American to lead the Roman Catholic Church, died on April 22nd at the age of 88. Trump was among the global leaders who attended the Pope's funeral on April 26th. Several users have accused Trump of mocking the late Pope after attending his funeral. The controversy comes after Trump's recent remarks during a media interaction where he said that he would like to be Pope. Trump was asked about his opinion on the new leader of the Catholic Church. He said he had no preferences for the conclave to elect the new Pope, but winked at the Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who's the Archbishop of New York. Trump then said that they have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York, who's very good. The Vatican has said that Roman Catholic cardinals will begin their secret conclave to elect the new leader of the global church on May 7th. About 135 cardinals, all under the age of 80 and from across the world, are eligible to take part in the conclave and decide who should be the next leader of the 1.4 billion member church.
Lontano da me, maledetti, nel fuoco
the voters in this election, but not every member of the College of Cardinals, only those younger than 80 years old. And there are 135 of them. They call them cardinal electors. That's the electorate for this race. Then they are sworn to secrecy as they enter that conclave. And at the end of each round of voting, the ballots are taken and they are burned. So there is literally no record of the exact results. They just know if somebody won or somebody didn't. Per day, it's a maximum of 4 rounds of voting. And no matter how many ballots it takes, a 2/3 supermajority is going to be required to be the next pope. Now, let's take a look at that electorate of a 135 cardinal electors. Here's something interesting. This has to do with how Pope Francis ran the church. His agenda, in part here in terms of administration, was to broaden out the power in the church, to take it away from Rome, away from Europe, where it's been concentrated traditionally, and to spread it out. So he appoints the members of the College of Cardinals. And again, among this group of voters, look at this. The last time there was a conclave, the one that elected Francis, more than half came from Europe, under 40% this time. Meanwhile, look at the growth in Asia. Again, that's was part of Francis's agenda as Pope. It was to expand the church's reach through cardinals in places like Asia, where there's growing Catholic populations. North America, by the way, about the same, a tick down from 2013. Also keep in mind here, along those same lines, 72 different countries will be represented by cardinal electors this time. That's a big jump from the last one, 2013. Again, that's the work of Francis there. And Francis will also loom over these proceedings in this way. Of those 135 cardinal electors, 108 were appointed by Francis. That is 80% of them. They became cardinals because Francis appointed them cardinals. Now, these are some of the names that are out there right now. Again, nobody announces their candidacy. There's no endorsements. We really don't know how they stack up against each other here. But these are some of the names you're seeing here. For instance, Peter Erdo from Hungary, maybe on the more conservative side. Luis Tagle from the Philippines, maybe more on the progressive side. But when you see these lists, I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is take it with a grain of salt, because, again, the last time around in 2013 when they had a conclave, when they had lists like this, Pope Francis's name, the future Pope Francis's name, was not generally on them. So surprise is very possible here, especially with all of these new cardinals, many of whom have really never met each other before.